Want help to grow your business? Download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.
Hey guys, it's Sam Cawthorn here, and welcome to another episode of Industry Authority. And this particular section here, what we're talking about is specifically around speaking and getting speaking engagements. We believe that if you wanted to become an industry authority, whatever industry that you're in, you must understand how to master communication for influence. And really the pinnacle of all levels of mastering communication is actually then being asked to do a presentation, whether it's a speaking engagement to a large industry association conference, or even if it is filling up your own room and really giving value and then pitching your product or your services or your message or whatever that might be. And so today's episode is specifically all around how to get a paid speaking engagement. Now look, who doesn't want that? And over the last 10 years, for those people that don't know, I've been a professional speaker. So I had a major car accident, lost my arm, as you can see, and I currently don't have my bionic arm on at the moment, but there's a long story around that. But when I put it on, it works on my nerve endings and on my muscles. So as I think, I'll then operate it. I program it with my iPhone 6, which is really cool as well. But over the last few years, I've actually now been a highly paid professional speaker. So nowadays, if a conference wanted to book me as a professional speaker, I charge minimum $8,000, and then it goes up from there outside the state, and then overseas, obviously up to $20,000, $25,000 for a 1-hour keynote presentation. It's great for revenue raising, but it's also really good to position yourself as an authority in your area of expertise. So a lot of people sort of then said, Sam, how did you do it? How did you become a bit of a nobody that, I was born and raised down in Tasmania, which is a little island underneath mainland Australia, to now on the international speaking market, now released 6 books, spoken in 36 countries. Sam, how did you do it? And so over the last few years, I've actually now been coaching and helping a lot of other speakers in how they can become industry authorities and how they can get their message, their product or their services out there into the marketplace. So in this video here, we'll be specifically talking a lot about how you can get paid speaking engagements. What is the market demand out there in the market? What are the key hot topics? What are the key industries? What exactly is a speaker's kit? Some speaker mistakes. And also we'll then teach you how to engage speaker bureaus and event managers. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the difference between, like a speaker bureau and a speaker management, because really these guys are the gatekeepers to get you on some of these big stages. And you got to play the game. And so I'm going to teach you a little bit more how to do that. So it's a jam-packed episode and you guys are going to have heaps of fun. One thing I would encourage you to do, however, I would encourage you to get a pen and paper, because I'm going to go through some of this pretty fast, and I need to make sure that you do take a lot of notes. That way you can actually really catch what we're actually communicating here. So first thing I wanted to start here with are the 6 hottest topics in the speaking industry today, and also the 6 individual industries that engage speakers the most. One thing that I've found over the last 10 years, there's been a couple of big shifts in the speaking industry, and one of the biggest shifts that we're seeing is that speakers are now being reactive rather than proactive, meaning this is that they're now understanding what's currently happening in the economy and what are the trends at the moment, and then they're actually pitching their product, their service, their messages in reaction to what the current economic times are showing. Another change that I've seen in the speaking industry is actually the influence of TED. Back in the day, keynote presentations used to be 60-minute, 90-minute. Nowadays, with 18-minute TEDx talks, there's a huge shift now that people now want keynote speaking spots for 30 minutes or 45 minutes or whatever that might be. Another big change that I've seen in the speaking industry is the rise of cyborgs, meaning this is that the majority of people, they sleep within an arm length of their mobile device, which then means that they have the world's information within an arm length of themselves 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which means this is that if you do get a speaking engagement, the people that are in the audience, they've already done the Google search. They've already seen all your latest tweets or your latest Facebook messages. They've already seen everything. They've already read your bio. They've already watched the videos. They already know everything about you. Your audience are half human, half robot. They literally do not ever depart with this device, and they're always doing all research on anyone at all that's in front of them. So nowadays we communicate to cyborgs. That's a whole other story. But there are a lot of changes that we're seeing at the moment in the speaking industry, and what I'd now like to share with you is 6 of the hottest topics in the speaking industry right now. So the first topic is futuristic. Now, the reason why futuristic speakers are in massive high demand is because a lot of organizations, companies, and particularly C-level executives, they realize that we're in a constant change right now, more change than any other time in history, and this is fast, rapid change. No one really knows, particularly C-level executives and companies, they don't really know what the future holds, which then begs the question, here's a futurist speaker that sounds like he knows what the industry wants. Maybe we should get him in to come and teach us more about the future and what we can expect for the future. So my encouragement to you is whatever topic, whatever message, whatever services that you have, make sure you're always communicating on what's possible with your technology, with your product, with your service, with your message. And it's always about future stuff. People don't know what the future holds. If you have a little bit of an idea through your research and through being an expert that you know what the future holds, or you can sort of have a bit of a dialogue around that, then they're willing to certainly book you. So that's futuristic. The second one here is mental health and well-being. Now obviously underneath that category would be resilience and overcoming adversity and so on and so forth. But this has been an area and a topic that I have been in for the majority of my professional speaking career. But what we know is that depression rates today are 10 times greater than what they were in the 1930s Great Depression. The mean onset age of depression 35 years ago was 29 years old. Today, it is 14 years old. Even the World Health Organization now predicts by the year 2017, depression will be the #1 cause of illness. It'll overtake cancer. There was a recent study that was done here in Australia, and it showed that 45% of Australians feel unhappy in their jobs. Unhappy. Now, as we know that the most productive organisations, the highest performance teams, these people here have a heightened levels of happiness and awareness, and certainly very, you could probably call it enlightened when it does come to their own mental health and well-being. The most productive teams in the world are the teams that are very mindful towards mental health and well-being. So that is why there's a huge topic in that, and that's why if you see a person that's got great mental health and well-being, there'll be a lot more productive and a lot more focus and a lot more greater performance through that person as well. Another very hot topic at the moment is economic and finance. As you guys would understand, with so much changing times that we're seeing both in the economy and also in the finance markets, if someone can sort of come in and teach a lot of organisations, businesses in conferences, etc., about this particular area, that is what really, really does help, and particularly the futuristic side of that as well. Leadership and management, another huge hot topic in the space, and it always will be hot, and mainly because, I read recently that right now there is 155 million pages on Google when someone types in leadership. Did you know there's only over 5 million books on leadership? Yet with so much stuff on leadership, we've never seen such bad leadership in our world. So it's really, really interesting now. What do we need to do to learn more about management and leadership, then go out and teach others about management and leadership as well? Another very hot topic. And obviously there is the environment and sustainability. And environment and sustainability, that is all specifically around, what are the current changes in the environment and sustainability. Very, very hot topic at the moment. There's a lot of resources going into creating experts in corporate social responsibility and so on and so forth. And then the last one here in a hot topic is sales and marketing. It'll always be hot, mainly because the more sales and training and marketing that organizations can invest in, the more obviously that's going to boost their bottom line. Because as we all know, all corporations, all they want is for you to boost their profits and raise their productivity. That's all they want. So what do you need to do to obviously create your message around one of these hot topics? So now that we've looked at the hot topics, I now want to look at the 6 of the hottest industries that engage speakers at the moment. So the first one here is finance, and also I want to tell you the second one there is health. Now, I think we're seeing a bit of a shift in the moment, and one of the main reasons is forever, the industry that engaged the most amount of professional speakers was the finance space. However, we've seen a shift in the last 18 months where we're seeing just as much demand in the health space as well, because health now, there's so many hot areas in health, such as aged care, such as pharmaceuticals, such as, doctors, nurses, etc. There's huge demand now in the health space when it does come to professional speakers. And obviously finance, there's always going to be a huge demand for speakers that'll go in and talk in these industry spaces. Now, just remember, your topic doesn't necessarily, you don't necessarily need to be an expert in health or an expert in finance. I'm not an expert in health and finance. However, the majority of my speaking engagements have been in health and finance space. And one of the main reasons is because I've got a topic around mental health and wellness. And it's generic and it can fit every single one of these industries. And so, I want to encourage you, look at ways how you can navigate this. Another very hot topic is real estate. Obviously, there's always has been a huge demand of real estate people having their own personal development events and so on and so forth, so they can raise, personal motivation and sales techniques, etc. SMEs and entrepreneurs, so that's small to medium enterprises and also entrepreneurs. There's a lot of events. There's a lot of public events in this particular space, and this is where I would encourage you, what do you need to do to really engage that? Because these guys here are now spending more money than any other time in history when it does come to personal development and growth and coaching and etc. Next one here is education and training. Education and training really is a huge fishbowl there of so many subcategories that come underneath that. Some of the subcategories, right, is are things like, young people, teachers' conferences, university lecturing, and so on and so forth. And then training would be, job services and, disability services and so on and so forth. So there's a whole heap of really subcategories that go underneath all of these main industries. And obviously, just to round it all up is government and government services. So this is specifically around, government departments or even services like Ambulance Association, Police Association, and et cetera, et cetera. So these are government and services. So these are 6 of the hottest topics in the speaking industry right now, and the 6 industries specifically that engage speakers the most. So I now want to talk about what we like to call a speaker's kit. And what a speaker's kit is that as you build your profile, as you become an authority, you will be asked to speak at events. And with these speaking engagements, sometimes they'll say, hey, do you have a speaker's kit? Or let's say it's easy to send a speaker's kit for you to actually get speaking engagements. If you have an amazing speaker's kit that you can then send out through to event managers of the biggest organizations in the world, if it's a great speaker's kit, they will get you up on their stage. And not only that, they'll pay you top dollar for that as well, which is what I have found over the last 10 years. So what exactly is in a speaker's kit? The first one is a one sheet. And on this one sheet, we want 3 key areas. We want your biography, testimonials, and topics. Let's have a look at biography first. I need to make sure that you are writing your biography in a first person rather than a third person. Your topics can be in a third person. However, your biography needs to nowadays be in a first person. There's a number of reasons why we do suggest this. And one of the main reasons is just simply to come across a lot more authentic. But also you can write it in a way that the biography isn't about you. It's more about your target audience. Let me give you an example. This is my biography and my LinkedIn profile. So what I do speaker training, right? So my biography might sound something like this. Have you ever wanted to get your message out into the world fast? Have you ever wanted to learn how to tell your story in a unique way fast? Have you ever wanted to earn money while building a professional speaking company? Over the last 10 years, I've spoken in 36 countries and written 6 books, really to help people on where they are today to where they really want to be. We've actually now got a 12-month curriculum to really help you to go from where you are today or whatever that might be.
To continue enjoying this presentation, download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.